Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news and notes mashup video today, starting with Jermaine Franklin, who's currently in camp and he's vowing to upset the apple cart on April the 1st and defeat Anthony Joshua. So you can see here, training video, he actually looks in better shape than he did for the Dillian Whyte fight. I'll just fast forward past that fight, but so you have a case where Jermaine Franklin basically going from back-to-back camps. He'd had effectively almost 3 years of inactivity ahead of the Whyte fight, and now you have a situation he's got, 6 or 9 months of training pretty much consistently. He says, watch on DAZN April 1st. It's time for me to shock the world. 95% of fans think I'm going to lose. There are going to be some upset people Sunday morning, and then adding a whole bunch of people. And he is the underdog. This is meant to be a tune-up fight for Anthony Joshua following his 2 recent losses to Oleksandr Usyk. This is like the lottery for Jermaine Franklin. First, he got the Whyte fight, handpicked out of nowhere, performed relatively well in that. He lost a relatively close fight, and now he gets into what you'd have to imagine is a payday, $1 million or more. I don't know, but certainly it would not be for chump change, getting some decent money. Sometimes sitting around, calling guys out and waiting does work, not always, but he's saying he is going to be the guy to be the victor. He would have to do something significant, and Anthony Joshua, I think if he loses to Jermaine Franklin, it's probably time to call it a day. And as I say, Franklin looking in better shape, he's just looking trimmer. So that's good for him and the prospect of putting up an even better performance than he did in the Whyte fight. Although Dillian Whyte, in my view, for that fight with Franklin, even that Fury fight before, he looked washed. Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury in their training camp scenarios. You've got Fury and a number of people in his Morecambe gym, calling out Usyk there. Usyk himself training in, I think it's Ukraine. I'm not exactly sure where he's having his camp, but he's looking in decent condition. Both these guys have been ticking over for a while. Hopefully we get the announcement soon. It is meant to be the 29th of April at the time of recording this video, approximately 6 weeks, which is an undisputed fight, not a lot of time. But Sugar Hill in camp, and there was a series of photos actually, in different videos. So Tyson Fury's shaven hair, you've got Sugar Hill, and then, there's a series of different videos where he's got a beard, not a beard. So what's recent and what's not? I'm taking it this clip here is an older one. But, it's just sort of hard to say. Let's hope that it does happen. That's all I'm hoping for. Michael Hunter is calling out Daniel Dubois saying, sign it. So there must have been some negotiations underway. Both, or Hunter is very highly ranked in the WBA. Daniel Dubois is the, regular title holder as it is. Unclear what's happening with Dubois with his injury situation. He tore an ACL in that fight with Kevin Lerena. That was, at the end of 2022, we're sort of partway through March. I still think he must have some recovery time to go. But Hunter also saying on social media, fighters not wanting to fight is wild. I guess that largely sums up the frustration of the fans, because even Hunter himself has not fought guys we wanted him to fight, pulled out of the Hrgovic fight. So, it's not just everyone else, but it's the heavyweight division in general where we don't get what we want most of the time. Lucas Browne, Jarrell Miller, they're all weighed in, ready to go for their fight. So they actually had the weigh-in behind closed doors, and then this was the mock weigh-in that, for the cameras, all that sort of stuff. Browne 277, Miller was 352. I'll just go to a different post so you can see Miller 332, not 352. Browne 277, as I said. I'm looking forward to it. It's an oddity type of fight. I can't imagine how they're going to be making money off this event. As someone has said, perhaps there's some other elements at play washing some money. You never know. Joyce, he is anticipating a war with Zhang on April the 15th. He says, I haven't fought a southpaw since Lenroy Thomas, so it's good to get in there and practice. And this was Joyce talking to Sky Sports, because we know Usyk's a southpaw and Fury can switch southpaw as well. Great preparation for the next round of competition. I'd say first 5 rounds he'd be pretty dangerous. He's got the power and experience. It's going to be awkward because he is a southpaw and has good amateur experience, Olympic silver medalist as well. That's all the way back 15 years ago now, actually. And Joyce on Zhang versus Hrgovic, which Zhang lost that one. He says, it was a tough fight right to the end, and I thought he did better overall, and he was unlucky. He was proper blowing in that last round. It's a nice story because I beat Filip Hrgovic in the WSB. I'm fighting Zhang, who unfortunately lost out to him. It's an exciting fight, a risky opportunity, but it's a really good fight. And of Tony Yoka losing recently, he's weighed in there, saying, I fought Dakar and also sparred him last camp. He's a good guy, and it was good to see him get the victory. He boxed really well. Yoka, I don't know. I don't see much different from the amateurs, especially in that performance. He's holding his guard tight. The punches he did land were good punches, but not that many. Where was the Olympic champion? He's got too overconfident, his ego and being able to pick his opponents. He was saying in an interview, I don't think Joyce will do anything in the pros, and it seems to have backfired. And Tony Yoka, so addressing fans following the loss, so on social media saying, always hard not to walk away winning, but you have to keep going. We'll work again and again. There's no secret. Huge thank you to everyone for your support. So Yoka obviously dropping a decision to Carlos Takam just a week ago, and shocking scorecards, and one of the judges gave it to Tony Yoka. I mean, he maybe won a round or two tops. So, you know, Tony Yoka, he's going to have to do something drastic and dramatic. Extricate himself from France and actually go elsewhere and do something, new trainer, new setup. Just got to try something different, because I think Joyce is right. He hasn't developed like we thought he might. Anyway, moving on, and this is a bit of a head scratcher and slightly a weird one. So Ali Eren Demirezen has announced that he's put his boxing career on hold as of now. And when I googled for this to see what was going on, I couldn't find anything. But going through the comments, it does back up, you know, what Demirezen was saying, that he's actually stepping away from the sport. Not exactly sure why. And this is a really sort of sad situation, because he's a guy who slowly built up a really decent resume. In the past couple of years has had some really good wins. You know, he beat Adam Kovnarski, Gerald Washington, pretty good performances there, and he was one of the most underrated and high achieving boxers in the past year or two that's sort of flown under the radar. Moving on, the German Tom Schwarz, who's best known for fighting and losing to Tyson Fury pretty comprehensively, and also putting on an acting clinic against Senat Gashi, he will be returning on the 27th of May in Germany. You've got Argon Smakici still saying that he deserves a rematch with Agi Kabayel. So he put it on Kabayel in their fight a few weeks ago, had Kabayel down, and it looked like the referee was going to stop the fight, but he gave him Kabayel an 8 count instead. At that point, Smakici had completely sort of spent his energy and had nothing left, ultimately got taken out in the next round. So in this clip, and I know he's calling for a rematch because he says rematch. And another German card that's been announced is a Universum card, which is going to be headlined by Zhan Kossobutskiy. So this will be for the 3rd of June in Germany, TBA at this point. That's never a good sign when you announce the card and you've got a situation with the main guy not having a good opponent. Also on the card, a couple of different other heavyweights, Ben Adwubi, Jose Larduet. I mean, I would much prefer to see Larduet versus Kossobutskiy. I mean, they're going to have to sacrifice one of those guys at one point. And let's face it, Kossobutskiy, if he's going anywhere, he needs tough, good rounds, and I think he beats Larduet right now anyway. But Ali Kaiden facing Larduet, so it's probably going to be a knockout for Jose Larduet inside a couple of rounds. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.